Did you ever have one of those days where a thought just drops into your head, like it parachuted in from nowhere? And you're like, what the hell just happened? Where did that come from? It wasn't connected to anything you were just doing. You weren't thinking about any person. You weren't thinking about any problems. You weren't thinking about any old memories. And yet, boom, there it is. It's like you accidentally tuned into a radio station that no one ever told you existed. You didn't think the thought, it just kind of showed up. And that's what we're talking about today. The whole idea that not all your thoughts or even your emotions are actually yours. And I know that might sound strange at first, maybe even a little spooky. But once you really sit with it and observe it in your own life, you might start to realize, yeah, something's going on here. So I remember coming across this old phrase years ago. Thoughts are things. Now, a lot of people hear that and think it's poetic. I didn't. I never did. It landed more like a statement of fact, like someone just describing how reality actually works, not trying to sound clever about it. Because when you really stop and think about it, thoughts aren't any stranger than electricity. And no one argues that electricity isn't a thing. You can't see electricity, but put your finger in a socket and suddenly the debate is over. Same with light. If light weren't a thing, it wouldn't bounce off objects, enter into your eyes, get decoded by your brain, and turn into colors, shapes, faces, or movements. Your entire experience of reality depends on energy doing something first. Radio waves, Wi-Fi, cell signals are all invisible and are all things. And thoughts fit right into that same category. You don't see them floating through the air, but they move, they carry information, they have frequency, and they have an effect on your emotions. And once you really accept that, not intellectually, but experientially, the whole conversation changes. But then the question isn't, are thoughts things? The question becomes, what are you tuning into? If you think thoughts are not things, that's cool, that's your right. Just like electricity isn't a thing, right? Stick your finger in a socket and let me know how that works out. Or try denying that light is not a thing. Then turn off all the lights and try navigating through your home at night. No light, no reflection, no objects. Your brain doesn't even see things directly. It decodes light that bounces off of something and enters into your eyeballs. So yeah, light is a thing. Electricity is a thing. And thoughts are also things. They don't just hang around the inside of your head. They move, they ripple, they broadcast. And just like a radio signal, they don't care who picks them up. They're just out there, bouncing around in the atmosphere, looking for a receiver. And guess what? That receiver is you. Case in point, there have been many, many times where my wife might be thinking about going to a certain restaurant for dinner or for breakfast. Later on, I ask her, honey, do you want to go to this place for dinner or breakfast? And she says that she was just thinking about that. I'm sure you've probably had experiences like that as well. Your mind, your brain, your heart, your nervous system, your whole energetic field, it's not just a transmitter of thoughts, it's a receiver. You're not just creating thoughts, you're tuning into them. And I know that might sound kind of metaphysical or even new agey or whatever. But hang on a second. Just think about it in your own life. How many times have you randomly thought about someone you haven't spoken to in months, maybe years, and then boom, your phone buzzes and it's no. Or you get an idea, and before you even have an opportunity to say anything about it, someone else in the meeting blurts it out. It happens too often to just be coincidence. We're swimming in energies all day, every day. Electricity, light, gravity, radio waves, mental and emotional energy fields. And whether you realize it or not, or believe it or not, you're being hit by all of it, every minute, every day. That includes thoughts. And here's the kicker. You only pick up the ones you're tuned into. It's like a cable box or satellite dish. It picks up every signal flying through the air, but it only shows you the channel that you selected. And your brain, your mind, is much more advanced than any device any human being has ever developed. It's receiving input constantly, and the channel you're tuned to determines the thoughts and emotions you end up experiencing. And because the vast majority of people are not aware of this, they think that every thought they have is their own. Let me tell you about a moment that really drove this home for me. I was sitting outside a train station in Japan, having a casual conversation with my wife. We were in a big open courtyard, surrounded by a mall and a bunch of shops. It was crowded, like it always is. And I noticed a woman walking with two kids, a young girl and an older boy, maybe 5 and 8 years old. She walked straight up to this guy who was standing in front of a department store. They exchanged a few words, just a super quick conversation. I couldn't hear anything that they were saying, and I wasn't trying to. And then she handed the kids over to him and just walked away. She didn't look back, she didn't hesitate. She just turned and walked back straight towards the train station. And the little boy, he started sobbing. Not crying, sobbing. Reaching out towards his mom, trying to twist his arm out of the man's grip, like his heart was breaking in real time. And here's the thing, I didn't know these people. It wasn't my situation, it wasn't my story. But out of nowhere, I felt a wave of sadness hit me, like a punch in the chest. I had been having a light-hearted conversation with my wife, and suddenly, I felt like I was about to cry right there on the bench. And in that moment, I knew I wasn't feeling my feelings. I was picking up on hers, the mom's. And I thought, did I just witness a custody exchange? I was picking up on her pain, her guilt, her heartbreak, and the emotions that she had to choke back as she walked away without even glancing back. I was like a radio station or a radio tower that had suddenly tuned into the wrong frequency. So I told myself, wait, these thoughts and feelings are not mine. And as soon as I said those words, the sadness immediately disappeared. Oof, gone. That moment changed how I moved through the world, because it made me realize just how powerful and how important the power of awareness is. We are constantly, and I mean constantly, absorbing stuff that doesn't belong to us. Most people don't even realize it's happening. Thoughts, fears, ideas, even full-blown moods. But awareness is the key to staying in control of your own mind and your own emotions. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever woken up and there's just this heaviness in the air? You didn't check your phone, you didn't watch the news, you haven't even moved. You're just lying there in bed, but something feels off. And then your brain tries to explain it. Oh, I hate Mondays. But that feeling, it might not even be yours. You might be picking up on energies, thoughts, broadcasts from other people around you. People in your neighborhood, or even people in your own household who are dragging themselves out of bed, dreading their commute, flipping on the negative fear-based news, hating their jobs, or replaying yesterday's stress. And that energy, that fog, you're breathing it in. Not metaphorically, just energetically. And as a result, you start experiencing the same thoughts, feelings, and emotions that the people who are projecting that are feeling. You're soaking it up like a sponge. Just like a sponge left in the sink doesn't get to choose what water it absorbs. You're picking up on frequencies around you whether you mean it or not. Unless you stay aware and start choosing what you tune into and what you accept. Now here's the part they don't teach us. You don't have to be an empath or a psychic or some ultra-sensitive soul to have these experiences. I don't think it works that way. I think you're already doing it. You're already picking up things, already absorbing them, already tuning in automatically. You just don't realize it. Because most of us were never taught to question whether every thought in our head actually originated from us or not. But what if it didn't? What if the fear that's holding you back, the insecurity that flares up out of nowhere, the voice that whispers you're not good enough, what if those voices aren't yours? What if it's just someone else's junk? Emotional static, mental clutter, echoes from the collective. Because here's the thing no one tells you. Just like your Wi-Fi signal, your mind is open. And without awareness, there's no firewall. Just ask yourself, where does public opinion come from? And really think about that. Because it's directly connected to what we're talking about here. This idea that not all thoughts and emotions inside you come from you. And here's your warning. Once you see the answer to that question, once you realize how public opinion is shaped, molded, broadcast like a frequency, you'll never look at the world the same way again. Public opinion isn't just some vague social force. It could be a weapon. It has been used to justify invasions, genocide, propaganda, persecution. It has led entire populations into madness. World War II. All wars for that matter. They're fueled by public opinion that was manufactured and manipulated, pumped into people's minds until they believed things they would never have believed on their own. Can you see that happening in today's world as well? I invite you to give that some thought. And if public opinion can be used to make millions of people support war, death, destruction, what makes you think it can't make you doubt yourself? What makes you think it can't make you depressed, make you give up on your dreams, make you feel hopeless about the future? That's the danger. Not just that public opinion shapes the world, but that it shapes you as well, without you even knowing it. And that's why awareness, Real awareness isn't optional. It's your only protection. The moment you realize that a thought didn't come from you is the moment you reclaim your mind. And that, my friends, is why awareness is so powerful. Because the moment you notice a thought, instead of automatically becoming it, you create space. And in that space, you can ask, wait a second, is this mine? Do I even believe this? Do I want to keep this thought? And once you start questioning the mental noise, not from fear, not from paranoia, just from simple curiosity, you start taking your power back. You begin to realize which thoughts are actually yours and which are just mental junk mail. And when you spot one of those, you don't have to fight it. You just mentally stamp it, return to sender. Because you can feel it. You know when a thought doesn't belong to you if you pay attention. And once you know that, it loses its grip immediately. Spiritual practice, real spiritual practice, isn't about floating away on a cloud or escaping reality. It's about mental hygiene. It's about knowing what's yours and what's not. And then choosing consciously what you allow to live in your mind and nervous system. And thus, my friends, another meaning to the phrase, man, know thyself. That's mental and emotional sovereignty. That's how you start learning to actually control your mind and emotions instead of being controlled by them. And yes, this also means learning to close the door on entities that understand how thoughts work and know how to implant ideas, fears, desires, and narratives into your mind for their benefit, to your detriment. And let me be very clear about something here. Those entities include and are not limited to governments, intelligence agencies, news media, corporations, advertisers, marketers, political movements, religious institutions, ideological groups, and professional thought leaders. Do you need your thoughts led? Give that some thought. And yes, there are also influences that are less visible, less discussed, and less comfortable to talk about. All of them understand the same basic truth. Thoughts are things. They know how to shape perception. They know how to seed fear. They know how to hijack attention. They know how to pull emotional levers. And most people never realize it's happening. They just call it my opinion, or my anxiety, or my personality. But if you don't consciously choose what goes into your mind, someone else absolutely will. That's not paranoia. That's how influence works. So proceed with awareness, not fear, not hysteria, awareness. Because awareness is the difference between being a sovereign human being and being someone else's puppet who thinks they're free. So, what can you actually do about this? Let me give you a few tools. Mindfulness. I know you've heard it 1,000 times, but it works. Just notice what's going on in your head. When a weird thought shows up, pause and ask, is this mine? Is this helpful? Is this something I want to keep feeding? If not, this is where I diverge from some teachers. Some say just follow the thought and see where it goes. I say bullshit. Once you've identified or even suspect that the thought is not yours, throw it away with the rest of the trash. Refuse to allow it to continue, and refocus on a more positive and empowering thought. Because if you follow a thought, the danger is you might start believing it. And once that takes place, it's game over. The puppet master has won. Remember always, the mind is yours. You are not the property of the mind. So you get to choose what lives there and what does not. If the mind thinks it's in charge because you keep following it instead of training it, it's like a dog walking its owner instead of the owner walking the dog. Do you get the picture? Please give that some thought. 2, grounding. Bring yourself back to your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your breath. Look around the room. Because guess what? Fear needs the future. Guilt needs the past. But power is now. And when you're grounded in the present moment, it's much harder to be manipulated by others or by stray thoughts. 3, affirmations and energy shielding. Yeah, I know some people roll their eyes at affirmations, but it's not about cheesy slogans. It's about training the mind, programming your mental environment. And by the way, you use affirmations constantly. The problem is that most people use negative affirmations. I have no confidence. Why does this always happen to me? Why am I always broke? Those are all affirmations. And that's why your life is the way it is, if you're the kind of person who uses those types of affirmations. So affirmations work, and you can look at your own life and you will know that I'm saying the truth. So positive affirmations work as well. Affirmations programs your mental environment, and they make you who you are. If you repeat something with intention and feeling, it sticks. Because guess what? It's the same technique that the puppet masters, thought leaders, corporations, media, etc. It's the same technique that they use to program you for their agendas. Their messages are repetitive until you blindly believe and act on them. So, by using your own positive affirmations, you take command of your own mind and emotions instead of allowing others to program and control you like a drone. You're literally rewiring your internal belief system. And when you pair it with visualizations, like imagining yourself surrounded by a golden light or a shield of radiant energy, you're not just pretending. You're tuning your energy field. And that shield, it filters the noise, it holds your frequency. It doesn't allow frequencies of others to interfere with your right to govern yourself. Not everyone deserves to hear your vision. Some people, the crabs in a bucket, will always try to poke holes in your dreams because they're too scared to pursue their own. So be wise and be discerning. Protect your ideas like you're protecting a tiny flame in the wind. Nurture it, shield it. Wait until it's strong enough to handle the storm before you share it with the world. And finally, detachment. Once you plant the seed of an idea, an intention, a goal, let it go. Don't chase it. Don't strangle it with need. Don't dig up the seed every morning to see if it sprouted yet. You'll kill it. Just become the kind of person who naturally receives. Detach from the timeline, detached from the form, because at the end of the day, it's not what you want that creates your reality, it's the energy you carry. So, yeah, this idea that many of your thoughts and emotions may not be yours is not just an idea, it's a wake up call. A reminder to stay awake, to guard your mind, to stop letting strangers live rent free in your head. Because if you don't own your mental space, someone else will. And I'm not talking paranoia, I'm talking reality. The media, the ads, the politicians, the algorithms, they know how to shape your perceptions. And you're the only one who can reclaim it. You absolutely can. And when you do, you stop reacting, you start choosing, you become a conscious creator. So I'll leave you with this. The next time you experience a thought or emotion that feels out of place, pause and say this affirmation out loud with conviction, confidence, at least 3 times. I recognize that this thought or emotion is not mine. I release it from every cell of my being, and I reclaim my peace. Say it, mean it, live it. Because that's how you take control and take your power back. If this episode spoke to you, if it made you feel a little more sane, a little more seen, or gave you something to chew on, pick up a copy of my book at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, or Apple Books, and dive deeper. You can also support my work on Patreon. There you'll get early access to new releases and deeper tools to practice and go even further. And if you're ready for personal support, check out the Path of the Warrior Spirit coaching programs at yourhumanmanual.com/pricing-plans. I'll design a coaching plan just for you, tailored to your unique path, your challenges, and your goals. Thank you for thinking for yourself. We'll talk to you soon.